Hello everyone, this is Vanessa from The Hand That Feeds HQ. I am the founder and content creator, as well as on the side, I am a music composer. I will be reviewing today Shoichiba's Criminal, song included in Sparklu's album Daybreak that was released in 2021. This is a suggestion by Cell. So let's kick off these analyses.
One day will strike me, remember I guess still it's stuck in your heart. Look is a mirror, you the point the gloomy ways. They say I've started to paint a white crescent on my mouth. So we do ask a straight man, now you win. I can't see it.
Interesting bit right at the start is that Shoichiba chose to have an acoustic sound to begin with, but we all know that the sound, especially the acoustic guitars, are hinting at something more danceable, something tropical, I should say. This is my first time listening to this song, so guys, I do not know what to expect from here on, but the transition or the progression that we had up until now hints at something like this. Will it be a full-on tropical song? Let's see.
Wonderlight's not here. Nobody's amazing singer. Walk around.
Those marimba hits are there, and of course this is going to be a tropical song because those marimba hits, although minimal, dun, 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 dun.
Criminal.
Ooh. Stop right there. Shoichiba, you're getting better with every song, or with each song that is released, because what the hell is this? Everyone knows that Shoichiba is a tenor, is actually, I would say, a mid-toned tenor, so he is within the range of a tenor, but he's not really the one that usually goes belting those notes. And right here in Criminal, he is belting those high notes. I was not expecting that, and there's plenty of, I haven't pinpointed yet if it is falsetto or head voice, but he's going high, and that was not expected because, once again, up until now, Shoichiba, the voice actor that actually sings for a couple of 2D music projects, has never, ever rose so much in his vocal range. So that's surprising right off the bat for me because I was not expecting him to go that high, at least. He's on high notes and he's using head voice, and I was not expecting any of those. I was honestly not expecting any of those. Wow. Well, the song, I was at least right about something, is that the song is actually pretty tropical. So the main motive that you guys listen to in the intro of the song, that's that guitar or acoustic guitar melody. That melody loops throughout the song. It doesn't change much. If you pay closer attention, it doesn't change much. So if you guys actually learn that melody on the guitar, you're set to play the whole song without any issue. So the melody repeats itself, and it's the main theme for this song. And you notice that although the elements that are really on the tropical side, the marimba, and then that beat that is a bit more, I should say, tropical, but that wouldn't be really technical, but, well, it's a beat that you would associate usually to tropical inspired music or tropical pop. And you still have the acoustic guitars playing in the background, of course they are the motif, and then you have that beat, a bit on the bassier side, and you have a really robust bass line that you really do not notice that much, but that is really, really, really good. And it actually gives an extra punch to the instrumental and raises it in tension. At the same time, it serves as a contrast to the voice because, have you noticed so far? Shuichiba is performing as a true tenor and is rising a lot in his vocal range, which is to say, is actually performing high notes in head voice, which is a technique that is extremely tricky to pull off. You need to be a really skilled singer to actually pull off, and of course, on record, it's something that is different to do because you don't have the to put an extra effort because performing this song live will actually take a toll in his performance. He actually can't dance and sing this song at the same time because head voice actually makes you feel dizzy. Unless, of course, you are extremely gifted and really practiced the song to a point that you can actually dance and sing it at the same time. It's possible. I wouldn't put that past Shuichiba because he actually is that talented, but it sounds like a tricky song to perform live. It's a really good song to perform stationary, and that's how you actually record the song. It's stationary. He's got at least a really robust head voice there. He can go high, and you guys heard it. So the bass line, like I was saying before, is used as a contrast to the high notes that Shuichiba is performing. So you get a certain harmony within the song because you have the bass line that is covered, well covered by the beat, and the bass line that is enhancing that beat. And then on the other side you have the high notes by Shuichiba that is actually raising the tension, but doing so in almost in a gentle, a delicate way that is extremely, I wouldn't say alluring for itself, but it's really mesmerizing the way he is actually performing those notes and is actually adding a bit of legato to those notes. He is almost dragging the endings of those notes. It's really interesting so far.
You don't wanna be alone. It's a silent love. On a terrible day, it's a horrible place. Not to capture on the mother, I won't be at the visible man.
I was not expecting that drop, and I was not expecting the mix of R&B and hip hop. It's almost like it has a bit of hints of trap music because that beat is really slow and it really hits really hard on that bass drum. It's pretty interesting. I was also not expecting that because the song so far seemed like a pop or tropical pop song, and it would go back to the first verse or following the same formula as the first verse. But surprisingly, you have a certain intermission there, and the song introduces you a new element or a couple of new elements there. It's the trap-inspired beat and those R&B vocals because Shuichiba basically changed his way of singing there in just that small phrase to add a little bit of R&B riffing to the mix, and it's actually pretty satisfying to listen to this. And you guys shouldn't, of course, forget that he's actually performing a massive chunk of this song in English. It may not be that perceptible for untrained ears. It may not be as clean as you should have wanted, but you got to give points for the effort because the song doesn't sound easy to sing. The rhythm, although sounding a bit slow, the song sounds almost like it is down tempo, but it isn't down tempo. It's a really good mid tempo song, but it's actually got a bit of speed to it, which basically doesn't help much on the vocal end. And still, you have Shuichiba tackling the song, and he's actually nailing the lyrics. He's nailing the tempo, is nailing the speed that he needs to add to those endings of the words because of the legato. He needs to drop a bit, ever so slightly, the speed to make that legato work. And then you have those high notes, which, well, is basically doing everything in this song. I wouldn't say I would be expecting rap right now, but given how he already has done almost everything and we're still in the 1.18 mark, I seriously don't know if we are going to have anything else to add to this. But let's see.
기대해, you know, I have no courage to change. Who cares if I just found the right age? You can see it. I wonder why we are lost.
Interesting. Stripping down the instrumental to give a spotlight to the marimba. It's actually a pretty interesting touch because you take away the distractions of the beat. Actually, you have a beat, but you removed the bass from the instrumental and left a simple beat. And the marimba was brought forward and is supporting Chiba's voice, which is an interesting twist. I was not expecting it once again. This chorus is really wow. Ooh. Is really melodic in this section, and I'm really enjoying the way he's going to tackle those words, making those slight adjustments to the tension while still adding a lot of flair to those notes. It doesn't sound like something well, it may sound easy, but it isn't. That's what I wanted to say. This is the break, or should I say the bridge of the song, and you get something a bit different but still in the same tone. You still have the guitar. Remember what I said when I started this analysis, the guitar melody is looping, so as soon as you listen or learn how to play that melody, you're set to play this song without an issue.
I used to feel the way to sing along that love. I got it on me, I'll get treated.
I told you, rap, it has everything. This song has everything, everyone. So Shoya Chiba basically showed everyone that he can do everything. And I'm not even angry. Oh my god. He's really talented. Let's go. Outro. Ooh, that's a good way to end the song. Wow. Wow. So this was Shoya Chiba's Criminal, song included in Sparklu's Daybreak mini album. And I can safely say, now that the song is wrapped up, that one, I was not expecting any of these. I do not listen to previews to the songs when I report the news on the website, so you guys actually got to listen to a little bit when the song was, even before the song was released. But this was actually my very first time to listen to it, and wow, Shoya Chiba, wow. I've been saying this since last year, and I hope it's already obvious to many of you, is that Shoya Chiba is the next big talent in the seiyuu industry, and I can really envision him making a solo debut pretty soon, because did you listen to the talent he has? Head voice, high notes, rap, R&B riffing, really smooth mid tones, is actually doing pretty much on everything on vocal end, and he actually adds legato, although subtle, and he can actually quicken up his singing to match the speed of the song and then completely go the opposite way and slow down to meet or to match that slow paced beat. And it's actually pretty interesting to follow how he does that. Actually, this is a song that I will be listening to more than once now that I've already listened to it, because I believe there's much more to unearth within the song. There's interesting layers going on out in that song, especially in the parts that you can say that sound tropical. But so far, so good. You have the marimba. It's an instrument that you actually use pretty much for all tropical music because it's a percussion instrument that adds a little bit of a different flair that the drums and even the synthesized beat are not really able to pull off. So that's a really interesting twist that you bring. That's a different flair that you add to the beat, because the beat can't always be a snare and a hi-hat, which is basically the simplest beat you can have within pop music and EDM itself. So you add marimba as a complement to that beat and you get this song. It's simplistic. I was expecting the song to actually build up into something a bit more complex, but the song is actually pretty simplistic. You have, of course, the main theme or the main melody that is played on the acoustic guitar, and it follows the song from start to finish. It actually never stops or is cut to add any other instrument. It actually follows Chiba right from the very start up to the very end. And it's actually that element that starts and ends the song when every other element or instrument within the song is no longer there, which is pretty interesting, makes the song come full circle and actually makes it loopable, because the song starts and ends on the same note and you can have the song looping and looping, and it starts to be an earworm type of song that you basically won't get outside of your head. As far as the vocal performance goes, Shoei Chiba is actually showing everyone that he's really, really talented. He's more than what people perceive him as, and even within Spark Clue, he's not the member that stands out the most. He does stand out, but it doesn't stand out the most because he's not the center. But he's really reliable and he's starting to show that he can be a lead. He can be on his own and shine. And Criminal is a good example of that. You can see how much he's passionate about his performance, to the point that he actually performed the song, I dare say, 90% in English, which is a massive undertaking for a non-native speaker. And especially when you are singing a song in a foreign language, it isn't easy. So even if you can't understand a couple of words that may sound a bit slurred, it can happen. He did put the effort and the song is mostly audible and the English is mostly understandable. So there's that as well. Of course, this isn't something we should evaluate, because I myself am not a native English speaker, but it does sound clear when he slows down. It sounds a bit, I should say, slurred when things or the pace picks up, but that's to expect, because you're not a native speaker unless you really are extremely comfortable with performing in English. That is bound to happen. And still, he did pretty much an awesome job there, because there are many seiyuu that tackle English lyrics and you really can't understand the thing. So he did a massive job there. He showed everyone that his vocals are off the charts, and he's only growing with each song as a performer, and I really, really hope that you guys got to understand how impressive this song is, albeit pretty simple. The song itself is not remarkable. It has a good vibe, of course. It is loungy and danceable. For sure, danceable. It has a really good balance between elegance and, I should say, a certain masculinity that he wanted to showcase. You can tell by the way he's performing the song, you can tell by the lyrics that he's trying to showcase how manly he is, at the same time that he's trying to showcase how good of a singer he is, how talented he is, and what he can bring to the table. That you guys may or may not notice within Sparklu's songs. And of course, if you don't follow him in the 2D music projects he's a part of, this song will come as a massive surprise. Still, Shoya Chiba's Criminal is a really fantastic song, I dare say. A really, really, really good song. Perhaps one of the best I've heard this year, and I've heard a lot of songs. I dare say this is one of the best songs I've heard this year, and it came as a surprise for me. First time listening to it, first time reviewing it. Shoya Chiba's Criminal is a massive song. If you're into tropical pop, it has a lot of influences, but mainly tropical pop with a little bit of hip hop and R&B in the mix, and you like to listen to a good tenor voice, really going for those high notes, especially in head voice, and adding a little bit of legato that adds a little bit of allure to the performance. Shoya Chiba's Criminal is really the thing for you. So once again, thank you very much to Cell for the suggestion, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.